A Little Princess. A Simplified Summary. Chapter 1. Sarah's Happy Life. Sarah Crew is a wealthy, intelligent and kind-hearted young girl who has lived in India with her father, Captain Crew, all her life. When Sarah turns 7, her father sends her to Miss Minchin's select seminary for young ladies in London to receive a proper education. Captain Crew loves Sarah deeply and spares no expense, making sure she has the best of everything. Sarah is treated like a princess at the school, with fine clothes, beautiful dolls, and her own private room. Sarah is not spoiled by her wealth. She is polite, caring, and imaginative, often entertaining the other girls with stories and make-believe games. Despite Miss Minchin's cold and strict demeanour, Sarah remains kind and generous, quickly becoming popular among the other students and staff. Chapter 2. A Sudden Change. Tragedy strikes when Captain Crew suddenly dies of a fever in India, leaving Sarah penniless. It is revealed that Captain Crew had invested all his money in a diamond mine, but the investment failed, leaving Sarah with nothing. Upon hearing the news, Miss Minchin's attitude towards Sarah changes drastically. No longer the wealthy princess, Sarah is forced to work as a servant at the school, doing chores and living in a cold attic room. Despite the harsh treatment, Sarah remains strong and dignified. She continues to use her imagination to cope with her difficult circumstances, pretending she is still a princess and finding comfort in her fantasies. Chapter 3. Life as a Servant. As a servant, Sarah's life becomes difficult and lonely. She is overworked, underfed, and mistreated by Miss Minchin and some of the other girls. However, she remains kind and compassionate, forming close friendships with Becky, the scullery maid, and Ermengarde, a fellow student who remains loyal to Sarah despite her change in status. Sarah's situation worsens when Miss Minchin takes away her warm clothes and fine belongings. But even in the face of cruelty, Sarah's spirit does not break. She continues to tell stories, comfort Becky, and remain optimistic, always holding on to the belief that a princess is kind and brave, no matter her circumstances. Chapter 4. The Magic of Kindness. One day, Sarah finds a fourpence in the street and decides to buy 6 buns from a bakery. Even though she is starving, she gives 5 of the buns to a beggar girl who is even hungrier than she is. This act of kindness does not go unnoticed. The bakery owner, impressed by Sarah's generosity despite her own need, decides to help the beggar girl by giving her food and a job. Meanwhile, in the house next door to Miss Minchin's school, an elderly gentleman named Mr. Carrisford has moved in. Mr. Carrisford was Captain Crew's friend and business partner, and he is searching for Crew's daughter, whom he believes to be lost. Mr. Carrisford feels guilty for the loss of Captain Crew's fortune, as the diamond mine venture has actually proven successful after all. Chapter 5. The Little Princess is Found. Unbeknownst to Sarah, Mr. Carrisford's servant Ram Das notices her and Becky's difficult living conditions. Moved by their plight, Ram Das and Mr. Carrisford secretly begin sending gifts to Sarah's attic room, such as warm blankets, food, and even a fire in the hearth. Sarah, amazed by the sudden change, calls this the magic. One day, Sarah visits Mr. Carrisford's house to return a coin she thought belonged to Ram Das. During this visit, Mr. Carrisford realizes that Sarah is Captain Crew's daughter. He is overjoyed and immediately takes Sarah in, explaining that she is actually wealthy beyond her imagination, as her father's investment has succeeded. Chapter 6. A Happy Ending. Sarah's life changes once again, but this time for the better. She leaves Miss Minchin's school and goes to live with Mr. Carrisford, who becomes her guardian and takes care of her as if she were his own daughter. Sarah is able to continue her education and live in comfort and happiness. Despite her newfound wealth, Sarah does not forget her friends. She ensures that Becky is also taken out of Miss Minchin's service and given a better life, and she remains close to Ermengarde. Sarah also continues her acts of kindness, helping those in need just as she did when she had nothing. Miss Minchin, furious at losing her servant, tries to get Sarah back, but it is too late. Sarah is now beyond her reach, and Miss Minchin's school suffers as a result. The story ends with Sarah living happily with Mr. Carrisford, surrounded by friends and loved ones, her generous spirit and unwavering kindness making her truly a little princess.